Hi there, in this video I'm going to show you how to get started with the multiplayer VR Paintball starter kit. So first you just need to import the package. Alright, once you've imported the package, you need to make sure that multiplayer is enabled under your services tab. So you go to services, and if you haven't created a project yet, just go ahead and hit create project, and then go to the multiplayer section. And you'll need to run through the standard UNet setup for this just to enable the project and set a maximum number of players. In this case, I've set it to 4. You can set it to any number that you want. Alright, so once you've got that set up, the next step is to just open up the demo scene and get an idea of how things work so you can build your own game or just start playing. So if I go to the controllers, this is where all of our actual game control is happening. The first place I want to go is the game settings, which has two options here. One is for the minimum number of players to start a round. I'm going to turn that up to 2. And then there's an option to allow team kills. This just lets you shoot players on your own team and actually kill them. The decal controller in here allows you to customize the decals. Right now it's paintball splats. If you want to go in and change that, all you need to do is select this prefab, and then you could modify the materials here. These are all just paintball splat materials. You could replace them with bullet holes or something else. You can also modify the colors. So right now it randomly chooses a color and a material. The next thing with settings on it is the team controller. This just allows you to choose how many teams the game will use. By default it's set to 1. We really want that on 2 or more. So you crank that up to however many teams you want. What's going to happen when the players join is they're going to get assigned to whichever team has the least number of players. And you can see that in this code. Let's take a quick look at the team controller code. So the way this works is the players will request a team when they join from the team controller, and the team controller will add them to an array of players, and then it will find out which team needs players right here, and then it will tell them to join that team and assign them to that team. The next section I want to show is the respawn points controller. This just handles where players respawn. So if you look here, the blue team has 3 spawn points over in the blue area. Take a quick look at that. You'll see when I select all 3 of them, they're right down here. 1, 2, 3. The red team is over here across with team 2. And these are all just set up by adding a player start point and setting the team number. The next thing I want to show is the audio controller. So all of the audio events are using this controller, and then the way it works is there's just assigned voiceover event array, and each voiceover event has an audio event ID. The code just tells it to play an audio event by the ID, which is just enum, and then it'll play automatically wherever you tell it. And you can also hit this preview button to just play and see what these effects are going to sound like. Each one of these can have multiple clips, like this impact one has 7 clips. This gives you a little bit of variety on the hits. The last thing I want to show is the game state controller. This is responsible for handling actual game flow. If you open it up, you can take a quick look. So that you'll notice in the awake, we set the initial game state to waiting for host. But this is just a state where we're waiting, nothing's going on until we have our first player in the game. So this is the host joins. You see here, actually, nothing happens at all. We transition out of that state in the network manager UI. So what happens here is we watch for a match being created. Once a match is created, we switch the game state to waiting for players mode. In the waiting for players state, what we're doing is looking to see how many players are connected, and if that number is greater than or equal to the minimum number of players to start the round, we switch over to a pre-game countdown state. So if you wanted to have this be more like a lobby where players join and then instead of automatically switching states, you enable a button, you could do that here. You could just set a start or go button to enabled right here, and then that button could then switch over to game state pre-game countdown. The pre-game countdown state assigns the teams, so it finds each player, assigns them to the team that needs them. If you want to modify a team assignment, you can do that in here. And then it starts a countdown timer text object. So you'll see this in game. There's just a little countdown timer. And then the next thing it does is play the audio. and it sets this time remaining. And then once we're into the playing state, we just allow the players to shoot at each other and kill each other, and then they respawn. If you want to limit the amount of time that a round can go on for, you could modify that in this